Howdy! Windcharger here, a fairly obscure character from G1, finally gets a Classics update in Reveal the Shield. The alt mode is a hybrid of cars to avoid the usual licensing issues. I can see elements of a Ford Mustang in here somewhere. I think it's the front section, but the overall model is nothing specific. Whatever the case, it's a really slick looking vehicle. It's also a good homage to Windcharger's original form, if only because he's red, and he shares the same louver-covered rear window. Though the camera probably isn't picking it up, the red plastic used here is the same shiny plastic on Universe 2's Sideswipe. Wise decision. It makes this figure look even better in person than it does in pictures. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to this car. It's just a nice, simple design as it should be. One thing I will point out, everything inside is so compact that it can be hard to transform him back into this mode if pieces aren't positioned just right, like the hands for instance. You can see that the roof isn't properly aligned with everything else. Oh, and here's his rub sign, and watch as I fail to reveal which side he's on. Seem to have got lucky that time. The transformation is very similar to the G1 toy, except the hood folds down to become the chest instead of just sitting on his back. Windcharger's robot mode is one of those that evokes the character without being an exact copy of the original. He finally gets a cartoon accurate head sculpt, which looks quite similar to Alternator's Decepticharge. And just like before, the rear window halves end up on his legs. Faithful homage. Articulation is pretty good all around. His ball joint ankles allow him to stand in a number of cool poses, like this one. The transformation sacrifices his waist joint, but that's not uncommon for the Scouts. As nice as the red plastic is, I'm not sure they should have used it for the hands. They just don't stand out as well, and I don't know, they just feel kind of brittle. I feel like I'm gonna break them one day. Fortunately, Windcharger has a few tricks up his sleeve. Literally. He has these magnets that flip out of his wrists, which references his original bio note. And these hands can stow away, like so. On top of that, these bars allow you to clip on weapons from figures such as Darkmount or Jazz. Can't help but feel that this was the inspiration behind the Dark of the Moon mech decks. Sadly, said line is probably why this, along with Chop Saw, has seen very limited distribution. It would seem that shops have stopped ordering these figures to make room for the Dark of the Moon toys. Well, that's my understanding anyway. To add insult to injury, Hasbro cancelled the upcoming wave of Scouts. You know, the wave that includes Body Block, Downshift and Demolition Rumble. With all these unreleased toys being cancelled to make way for the next movie range, it kind of feels like animated all over again. Having said that, if you're lucky enough to find this guy at retail for a reasonable price, I'd say pick him up. He's yet another impressive Scout that Hasbro has to offer. Next I'll be reviewing Generations Drift. But until then, till all are one.